Hello, everyone. Welcome back to part two of stock price analysis using OpenAI or AI. In the previous lecture, we used Yahoo Finance API to fetch the price details for a given period, which in our example was past 365 days. Then we also found out which one, or rather which day in those past 365 days was the stock value highest and the stock value lowest. Now, today's addition on top of it is we are going to use a news API to fetch the news details, like we are going to print 3 headlines of what happened that day. Okay. And then in next lecture, we will see, or in next video, we will see, or we will have AI analyze these news and give us a prediction like why the stock prices either went up or went down on that particular day. So today's video is all about getting the news for a given day. And since it is an Apple stock, which we are um, taking for an example, I am using the category as business and tech news. But for your project, there are many other categories which you can go to the news site URL and fetch the news. Okay. So just a brief recap. So we had fetch stock data. We used Yahoo Finance API. Here it is, ticker symbol. We are getting the date from to and from. So we did it from the current date minus 365 days. Okay. And when was the stock price highest and when was the stock price? It returned this data frame and we just formatted the date and we rounded off the price to two decimal places. And now let's see. So this is our news fetcher. This is the new package that you would need if you get an issue problem, date, time, and requests. Okay. Request, because we are going to make a HTTP request using Python. Okay. This is the website that I'm using because this is the only one which I found had free calls, certain number of calls per day free, and it let me get at least 1 year of historical data. There are many other APIs which will allow you to fetch news, but most of them, only the paid version will allow you to go back in 365 days in time. So this is the one that I found, which gives you past 1 year details, but the only limitation is of this website. Of that day, I can fetch only 3 news items. So it will give me the news, what happened on the given day, but the data is limited to only 3 news items or 3 news articles, I should say. Okay. So you would have to go create your account and get the API key and store the API key in the .env file, where you also have your OpenAI key. If you followed the previous video, you would have created a .env file with the OpenAI key. To that, add the news API key, also the variable. This is just the initialization. You initialize it with the token and the base URL. So this is the base URL. Parse date, just in case if you're passing the string, we are converting the string date into date time. We are not using it for now, but this is just in case if you want it. Okay, here is the main method, get news. So you give the date on which you want the news to fetch. Category, it could be business, it could be tech, science, food, general, certain categories. Published on, sorry, max results is what do you call the results, maximum number of results by default, it's to 10. But in today's session, because it's a free version, not a paid version, I would get 3 news articles. Language, English. Okay. You can fetch the news in multiple languages. The API supports it. So I'm just converting that into string, the date time into string, creating the parameters, the API token, which we initialized earlier, which we get it from the .env file, language published on, limit results and categories. And then we do request.get. This is the HTTP GET request, where you pass in the base URL and the params. And then data is equal to response.json. Now here it is. This is the JSON format. This is the information that is returned from the newsapi.com website. So you have the UID, the title, description, keywords, snippet, URL from where it is fetching the news, image URL, if it has any language published at, you would see the date, the source from which website it got it, categories, business, general, okay, relevant score is null. So this is, as you can see, I get only 3 news articles. And what out of this JSON, what I'm taking is just the title. It's just the headlines of that particular news item or the news article, okay? Then if you're interested, like you could go back in time and on that news and then analyze this in detail what had happened if you're interested. But for programming purposes, for our agent purposes, we are just going to print the title. So it returns the data. And then from here, if you see, first we fetch the stock data, we initialize the historical news agent. This is the historical news agent class. Then we call the get news method. So from the first we print the highest row, the row with the highest stock price. Then we get the news. We pass in the categories business and tech news. We get the results.data, which will give me this array. And from this array, I'm just going to print the title. Okay. I'm just saying news for whatever the date is. And I'm printing what happened. Same thing I'm doing it for the date with the lowest stock price, what happened. Okay. So today's video is focusing on that. In the next video, we will have AI analyze it for us. So once again, this is last time's code, last video's code. The new is you create an instance of historical news agent. Here I've imported the class that we just created. So this is the new. And we call the get news method. We pass in our date. And then we get the news. The category, we pass it as business and tech because that's what my stock is about, Apple. If it was some other stock, then the category of it could have been a different industry, okay? Some political or whatever news you wanted. Here, same thing, we are doing it for the same categories. We get the minimum, okay? And we just print the news. That's all we are interested in. And this is from previous, print the top 5 rows for the ticker, and we store it in the CSV file. Let's run it, see it in action. Okay, so once again, the historical news fetcher, all you would need is the key to go to the website, create the key, create a get news method. It's very simple. We are using HTTP request. We get the date, we create the params, we pass the params to the request, and we return the response.json. Okay. And we call that method here, get news. We pass the date, with the lowest or with the highest or the lowest date. Stock price date, we pass in the category of business and tech, and we print the results. So far what we have done is we build up that, we fetched the past 1 year data. We know when the stock price was highest and what happened that day. We know when the stock price was lowest and what happened that day. Okay. And then in part 3, which will be the last, we will have AI analyze it for us, like what happened. Okay. So let's see this in action. Sorry. No, here, my terminal. So this is my run. Again, let me run it. So simple Python daily stock price.py, assuming you have install request. Okay. It's pip install request. You would need for any package you get an error, it's not there, just do pip install that package name. Okay. So here you can see it in action. Where did it start? Here. Okay, from here. So highest price details. Here you can see highest price details was on 24th of December 26. It went up to 255. What happened? News for 24/12. Broadcom's Kristen sells so many shares by investing.com. Anwar's Madanigan, People Wellbeing First. These are just the title. Richard Parsons, prominent, somebody died at 76. Lowest price was on 24/4/19. What happened that day? Some news. Couple of company reported stock earnings. Okay. Then we will have AI analyze certain news for us. So now what we know is, okay, on December 12th, December 26th, stock price was highest, and these things happened. On April 19th, stock price was lowest, and these things happened. Okay. Some companies reported their results. Apple was down, but we don't know why. Then now we will have AI analyze this for us and put everything together. Okay. So very simple. Go to the newsapi.com, create an account, go to this website, the newsapi.com. You have to create you have to create an account. You have to get API key, the news API key, and store it in the .env file. As you see here, I will have ls-altr.env. So as you see, I have the .env file in the directory in which I am running the program, my Python program. Okay, and this will have your OpenAPI key or all your other keys and other environment data that you want to be loaded in your file. All right, that is all for today. Okay, or before we go, let's see some other stock. Let's see Google. Google, or let's see Amazon. We have seen AMZ, Amazon symbol. I think so. Amazon symbol AMZN or AMZ. Just give me 1 moment. I will check. Amazon stock symbol is AMZN. Okay, AMZN. Okay, let's see what happened to Amazon. And run it again. Oh. So okay, so something happened on December 16th because its stock price was highest. It's the tech industry. So see here the news, NASDAQ notches record close. That's why, see, Netherlands something, innovation second fund, earning call, transcript, and its lowest was on January 17th. Okay. Which was about $149.91. And Lowell Farms, something happened, some news article, Discover shares drop as company sets extra 1 billion in something. So as you can see, how we can get some details and try to relate it, okay, ourselves. But you can always go to paid version and get more news articles. Mine is limited to 3 because it's free, but you get more service, extra help if you get the paid version of the API. Okay. So was the Amazon thing. All right. And this is the stock data for Amazon. This is the first 5 of the CSV, but you will have a CSV file. So let's see. So in the previous run, we had Apple stock. And in this, we have Amazon stock. So CSV file containing all past 1 year data or past 365 days data. All right. Thank you all for your time. If you need access to the code, just message, comment, or comment on the article. I will give you the GitHub access to this code. Thank you for your time. Please feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Thank you. See you all again with part 3. Thank you. Bye.